My doctor asked me a question at my last checkup that I was not expecting. He said, "When did you last sleep through the night without waking up? When did you last go a full week without a muscle cramp?" I thought about it, and honestly, I could not remember. He looked at my blood panel and said something that stopped me cold. "You are probably low in the one mineral that controls all of this, and most people your age have no idea. That mineral is magnesium. And today, I want to tell you why it may be the most overlooked supplement for anyone over 60 and what to do about it. Why magnesium is different. After 60, everyone in the senior health space talks about creatine right now. It is a good supplement, but creatine does not govern your sleep, your heart rhythm, your blood pressure, your bone density, and your muscle function all at the same time. Magnesium does. Here is the problem. Nearly 48% of Americans over 50 are not getting enough magnesium, and most of them have no idea. Not because they are eating badly, but because after 60, your body absorbs less magnesium through the intestines, while the kidneys begin excreting more of it. And then there are the medications. Diuretics, acid reducers, certain blood pressure drugs. All of them quietly drain magnesium levels further. The deficit builds slowly, over months and years, until the symptoms become impossible to ignore. But here is what makes this sneaky. Those symptoms? Fatigue, muscle cramps, restless sleep, mild anxiety, a heart that sometimes feels like it is skipping a beat. Most people chalk all of that up to getting older. They never connect it to a mineral. They never think to ask their doctor to check. What happens when your magnesium is low? Let me walk you through what this mineral actually does in your body, because once you understand it, the list of symptoms will start to make a lot more sense. Magnesium is involved in more than 300 biological processes. But here are the ones that matter most to people over 60. Muscles. Magnesium controls how muscle fibers contract and release. When levels drop, muscles cannot fully relax. That is where nighttime cramps come from. That stiffness in the morning? Often the same story. Sleep. Magnesium supports the nervous system's ability to shift into rest mode. A 2025 study published in the journal Nature and Science of Sleep found that people with poor sleep quality who supplemented with magnesium glycinate reported genuine improvements in their insomnia symptoms, and those who had the lowest dietary magnesium intake benefited the most. Bones. Most people think calcium is the only bone mineral that matters. But research shows that magnesium helps your body actually activate vitamin D, and without that activation, calcium cannot do its job properly. A 2022 analysis found that adequate magnesium intake supports meaningful improvements in bone density at the hip and femoral neck, the two sites most vulnerable to fractures in older adults. Heart and blood pressure. Magnesium helps regulate heart rhythm and supports healthy blood pressure. Low levels are linked to irregular heartbeat, which becomes more common with age. Brain, fatigue, low mood, brain fog. All of these have been associated with poor magnesium status. The body runs quieter and slower when this mineral is missing. The best foods for magnesium. Before we talk supplements, let's talk food. Because the best approach is always to close the gap through your plate first. The single highest food source per realistic serving is pumpkin seeds. One small handful, just 1 ounce, delivers around 150 milligrams of magnesium. That is nearly 40% of your entire daily need from a snack you can eat in 2 minutes. Cooked spinach comes next. 1 cup gives you roughly 156 milligrams. Almonds provide about 80 milligrams per ounce. A half cup of black beans gives you around 60 milligrams. And here is one most people do not expect. A square of dark chocolate, the 70% cacao kind, contains about 65 milligrams per ounce. A practical day might look like this: a smoothie with a handful of spinach in the morning, almonds or pumpkin seeds as an afternoon snack, black beans with dinner, a small square of dark chocolate in the evening. Add those up and you are already approaching 350 to 400 milligrams without a single supplement. But here is the honest truth. For most people over 60, food alone rarely closes the gap completely. Which supplement form actually works? This is the part most videos skip. They tell you to take magnesium, but they never tell you that the form matters enormously. Walk into any pharmacy, and the most common form you will see is magnesium oxide. It has a high number on the label. It looks like a strong dose, but the research consistently shows it has poor absorption, and it is more likely to cause stomach upset or loose stools. The two forms that actually work well in older adults are magnesium glycinate and magnesium citrate. Magnesium glycinate is bound to the amino acid glycine, which helps it cross the intestinal wall efficiently and makes it the gentlest on digestion. It is the form most associated with better sleep and muscle relaxation, and it is the one to reach for if your stomach is sensitive. Magnesium citrate absorbs well too and works particularly well for people who also deal with constipation or poor digestion. It has a mild natural laxative effect at high doses, so if your digestion runs well, glycinate is usually the better fit for daily long-term use. A typical effective dose for older adults is between 200 and 400 milligrams of elemental magnesium daily, ideally taken in the evening. That timing matters. Magnesium supports the nervous system's wind-down process, so evening is when it does its best work. One important caution: if you have kidney disease, heart rhythm issues, or take diuretics or blood pressure medications, please talk to your doctor before starting. Magnesium supplements are safe for most people, but your doctor needs to know what is in your routine. Creatine gets the headlines, but magnesium does the quiet, unglamorous work that makes your muscles, your sleep, your bones, and your heart function properly, every single day. If you have been waking at 3 a.m., if you cramp through the night, if your energy never quite comes back the way it used to, before you accept that as aging, ask your doctor about your magnesium status. Most people have never been tested. One small change, consistently, can shift how you feel in ways you might not expect. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had your magnesium checked, or started taking it and noticed a difference? Leave a comment below. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. If this was helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to Senior Meal Coach. We put out new videos every week built on real science, not fads, to help you stay strong and independent after 60. Take care of yourself. And as always, breathe easy, my friend. Always consult your healthcare provider before starting any new supplement.